What's up guys, it's CT Coasters. Today I'm going to be doing a top 100 roller coasters in the world. This took a long time to make, so please drop a like if you liked it. First of all, this is pretty controversial. I don't think a lot of you will agree with my number one pick. Just keep in mind that this is all opinion based. This is not fact. This is not absolutely the best roller coasters in the world. Just don't get angry in the comments. Also, huge thanks to Nelson for helping me with this video. Like, he did a lot of the list, and it took a lot of work, a lot of calls and stuff. So that was super nice of him. Like, thanks. Anyways, here's the video. So coming in at number 100 is Wild Train. This looks like a crazy coaster, like airtime. Next up is Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens, Tampa. This coaster looks really good. Just a great launch coaster. Next up we have The Beast at Kings Island. This is an absolutely legendary wooden roller coaster, and it's one of the most important roller coasters ever built. Next up we have Boardwalk Bullet at the place in Texas. I forget what it's called. This coaster looks really good, and I love Gravity Group. Coming in at number 5 is Lost Gravity. This coaster is really unique, and it's a pretty cool Mack coaster. Number 94 is Formula at Energylandia. This coaster is really cool. A lot of those new Vekomas are just really good. They're really getting back on track. Pun intended. Fujiyama is coming in next. One of the original hyper coasters, and it looks really good. Next up, we have Intimidator at Carowinds. This would probably rank higher if the trims didn't hit as hard as they do, but you gotta call it Intimidator for a reason. Coming in at 91 is Medusa at Discovery Kingdom. This definitely looks like a really good floorless coaster. I don't know if it ranks above Superman or Bizarro. Next up we have Renegade at Valleyfair. Amazing looking GCI. I really want to get on it. Just like a lot of other GCIs. 87 is Fahrenheit at Hersheypark. One of the most unique Intamins out there. It's really good. Next up we have Aftershock at Silverwood. I wish my home park Boomerang was this good. This doesn't have those awful trains, so yeah. 85 we have Storm Runner at Hersheypark, and really good accelerator coaster. Next up is Magnum XL 200 at Cedar Point. This is the original hyper coaster, and it has crazy airtime, but it is really rough. Adds to the experience. Next up is Raptor at Cedar Point. This might be my favorite invert, and if you get on it while it's running fast in the back row, it just does not compare. Next up we have Superman Krypton Coaster at Six Flags Fiesta Texas. This is a great coaster. It's just massive, and I love how it goes on the quarry. 81 is Leviathan at Canada's Wonderland. Oh, sorry about that. This looks like a really good Giga coaster. Probably one of the weaker Gigas, though. That's why it ranks so low. Next up is Volcano the Blast Coaster. Now, it's a real shame that they took this thing down. It looked really good, but all things considered, it looks like a great launch coaster. Next up, we have Thunderhead at Dollywood, another great-looking GCI that I really want to get on. Shambhala is a massive B&M hypercoaster at Port Aventura, and it looks like it could be the best B&M hyper. Nemesis is 77, and this coaster looks insane, like super intense, and I love how Alton Towers worked with the terrain on this. Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure is 76. This looks like absolutely the best family coaster in the world. This is Terran level theming. It's really good. Next up is Raven at Holiday World. Now this coaster, it just looks like a really solid Woody. I mean, like, positive G's, bank turns, you know, airtime, just a pretty solid ride. Kumba is next. This is at Busch Gardens, Tampa. You gotta love the original classic intense B&M. Flying Aces at Ferrari World in Abu Dhabi comes in at 74. This coaster is really good. It's pretty intense. Hades 360 makes the list at 73. Love Gravity Group. Legend is at 72, and another solid coaster from Holiday World. I mean, all their coasters just look really good. Afterburn at Carowinds, really great looking invert. Definitely one of the stronger ones. Ooh, next up we have the Ride of Steel clones at 71. These kind of just look like a not as good version of Millennium Force, if I'm being honest. Coming in at 70 is the SNS Air Launch coasters at the Happy Valley parks all across China. I mean, SNS just does really good launches. Ooh, F in the chat because Crystal Beach Cyclone comes in at number 69. Number 68 though is Max Force. Really good launch. Number 67 is Dragon Challenge. F in the chat. It did look like a really good invert, and it's sad that we saw it go. Next up is Red Force, and I really don't have much to say about Red Force. I mean, it just looks like a really good launch coaster. This next up is Apocalypse at Magic Mountain. They really did a lot with this ride, and you know, it looks really underrated. Like one of the better GCIs. Ghost Rider at California's Great America. Another GCI. All these GCIs look really good. I want to get on them so bad. Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm comes in at 64. Like, the airtime on this looks really good. It's just like such a solid Woody, especially after GCI came in and redid it. Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City absolutely looks like the best spinning coaster in the world. Crazy, just really crazy. This is the coaster at in Ireland with I don't know, it's themed it's at a park that's themed to potato chips. It looks really good though. Formula Rosa comes in at, oh god, what is this? Whatever. You know, great launch, and it's just fast all the way through. Joker at Discovery Kingdom comes in as 60. Solid coaster, but definitely one of the weaker RMCs. Coaster Through the Clouds comes in at 59, and yeah, I mean, this is the tallest coaster in China, and it just looks crazy, massive. Mr. Freeze Clone's probably the most intense premier coaster that it looks like. Six Flags really got lucky with this one. Next up we have Goliath at Wallaby Holland. Wait, I forget which Wallaby Park it is. I'm such an idiot. It's Holland. And again, like, really good coaster. Twisted Cyclone looks absolutely amazing. They packed a punch into a small footprint. New Texas Giant is next on the list. This is the OG. This is the original RMC, and it just looks really good. Superman the Ride at Six Flags New England. It's like it really compares to Millennium Force. Diamondback, definitely one of the really good looking B&M hypers. Love how the staggered trains look, and I love that splashdown. Outlaw Run. This is the OG RMC Woody, and I love the setting and the terrain on this coaster. This is Mystic Timbers at Kings Island, another GCI that I want to get on. It's really good looking rides, GCIs does. Goliath at over Georgia, another great hypercoaster. Millennium Force, just super tall, super fast, and just a huge ride, and I love it. Superman El Ultimo Escape looks really good. Probably the best coaster in Mexico. Maybe the best coaster in Mexico. Apollo's Chariot is the OG B&M Hyper. This coaster looks really good. Airtime looks amazing. It's a decently long ride also. Medusa Steel Coaster is arguably the best coaster in Mexico, and it's an RMC. You know, I don't really have much to say about it. Just airtime, you know. Hold on. Okay, that's Troy. Next up, we have Twisted Colossus. Six Flags Magic Mountain. I really want to see more dueling RMCs in the future. Terran at Fantasialand looks really good. Next up is King Dakar. This is the tallest coaster in the world. I love it. It's just all around really good. I mean, you have that crazy launch, that drop is amazing, and the view from the top is stunning. Balder, the first Intamin prefab on this list, absolute airtime machine. Like, it just looks so good. All of those prefabs, just like Colossus at Heidi Park, like, just another really good ride. Those Intamin prefabs, they really do it. They just pull off those airtime hills really well, especially El Toro. Storm Chaser at Kentucky Kingdom comes in at number 40, and this probably would not rank nearly this high if Kentucky Kingdom didn't, like, grease the track and stuff. Like, it's crazy. Lightning Run, I couldn't choose whether to put this ahead of Storm Chaser or not, and I chose to. Like, just like Storm Chaser though, it looks like an airtime machine. I really want to see more of those GTX coasters being built. Dota Dompa is the fastest acceleration on the planet, and just a massive looking coaster, probably one of the best launches in the world, and it's just huge. Next we have Woden Timber Coaster, and Woden is just like another really good woody that I want to get on, just like a lot of the ones on this list. Tatsu is arguably the best flying coaster. It's at Magic Mountain. Just looks like a really good coaster, super intense. I really love flying coasters. Next up is Alpengeist at Busch Gardens, and yeah, this just looks like a really good inverted coaster, super intense, and it's massive too. It's 195 feet tall. Next up we have Der Schwur des Kiernan, and this is definitely the best Gerstlauer, like, no doubt at all. Like, this looks really intense. Number 33 is Soaring with Dragon. I really like the way that these Intamin like launch coasters look, just like Pantheon. This looks amazing. 33 we have Phantom's Revenge. I really want to get on this since that second drop looks really good, and that airtime finale looks just like really amazing. Next up, 31, we have Flying with Dinosaur. Just probably the best flying coaster in the world. I mean, super intense. I love flying coasters, like I said. 30, we have Sky Rush. Super intense. Just looks really good. I really want to get out to Hersheypark. Next up, we have X2 coming in at 29. I really wish that Aero did not go bankrupt, because if we saw more of coasters like X2, then that would be amazing. But we haven't. But it looks like a really good ride. Next up, we have Dueling Dragons. This is a famous wooden coaster in China. It's famous for its high five element, but overall it just looks like a really good gravity group. Next up, we have the other Dueling Dragons. This one is made by Intamin, and it's an invert and a sit down. It just looks really solid. Next up, we have Python in Bamboo Forest at 26. Another Chinese coaster that just kind of goes unnoticed. Like, a lot of these Chinese coasters don't get enough attention. 25, we have Iron Rattler at Fiesta, Texas. I love this coaster a lot. Oh, sorry about that. I love this coaster a lot because, I don't know, it may be sluggish, but it really keeps its airtime. Its airtime is strong all the way. 24 goes to Fury 325. This is probably the best B&M. Maybe the best B&M. Definitely a really good Giga coaster. 23 is Twisted Timbers. This looks like absolutely the best small scale RMC that we've seen. Like, I've just heard so many good things. The Raptor clones, Railblazer and Wonder Woman, look really good. Super fast, super whippy, and the airtime looks great. Next up, we have Expedition G-Force at 21. This is like Millennium Force, kind of, but looks a little better, to be honest. Coming in at 20, we have Montu at Busch Gardens, Tampa. This looks like pretty much the best invert. Like, I would say that this is the best invert because it's long, it's intense, it looks really good. Top Throw Dragster comes in at 19. I love this coaster to the bottom of my heart. That launch is amazing. So is the view from the top. So is the drop. Like, Intamin Accelerator is really good. Wood Coaster comes in at 18. This is like a really good wooden roller coaster, as the name would imply. Another Chinese coaster that kind of goes unnoticed. Hyperion at Energylandia comes in at 17, and this looks like a really good hypercoaster, maybe the best one. Sorry about that. And you know, it just looks really good. Boulder Dash at Lake Compounds comes in at 17. This may be controversial, but this is absolutely an amazing coaster. Standing airtime, standing, sustained. It is amazing. Untamed at Wallaby Holland comes in at 15. Really good looking RMC. Those inversions look really cool. T-Express is 14. This is another Intamin prefab. It's like El Toro and Balder combined. Like, it really doesn't get better than that for wooden coasters. Just looks really good. Wicked Cyclone is at 13, and I mean, this is like a really good RMC. I'm super lucky to have it at my home park. I love it to the bottom of my heart. Wildfire at Colmartin is 12. And this is an amazing wooden roller coaster. DC Rivals at number 11. And really amazing Mach. Like, probably the best Mach coaster there is. I really want to get on it. Topping off the number 10 is Lech Coaster. These new Vacomas, man, they just look really, really insane, really good. Number 9, we have Maverick at Cedar Point. This coaster is amazing. I love it. It's definitely in my top 3, and I love that launch. Next up is Voyage at Holiday World at number 8. Like, the airtime on this looks really good, and I'm really proud of Holiday World for keeping it maintained and stuff. Hakugai comes in at number 7, and this looks like it could be. This is near the top of the best coasters in Japan. I-305 comes in at number 6, and yeah, great Giga coaster, probably the best Giga. Now, starting off our top 5, we have a Zadra at Energylandia. Now, this coaster looks absolutely amazing. This is probably the most intimidating roller coaster I've ever seen. I mean, in pictures and stuff. I mean, that lift hill is crazy. It's 206 feet tall, and it looks absolutely incredible with like the lack of supports. The rest of the layout is really good. Crazy airtime. Cool inversions. I really want to get on this coaster super bad. Next up, we have Lightning Rod at Dollywood, and all I have to say for this coaster is wow. Like, a lot of people consider this the best wooden roller coaster in the world, and, like, I mean, I can obviously respect that opinion. Like, yeah, everything about this coaster looks really good, from the drops, the wave turns, the airtime hills, the quad down. Like, the quad down, that's crazy. And only Dollywood could do that because it's such a terrain coaster. So yeah. Number 3 is El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. This is definitely my favorite roller coaster that is somewhat close to me. I mean, I live in Connecticut, so New Jersey's kind of close. Yeah, I mean, I really love this coaster. This is my number 2, actually. It's absolutely the best wooden roller coaster in the world. Like, no doubt. Every single hill has amazing sustained ejector airtime. Every single turn is intense. Every valley is intense. I love it. It has everything you want in a good coaster. I don't even know if El Toro stays on El Toro. Like, it's the airtime is that crazy. Now, number 2 goes to the famous Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio. This is probably the best RMC, sure. You know, this coaster is extremely intimidating. I wouldn't say as intimidating as a coaster like Zadra, but it still is. These first couple hills deliver, I would probably say, better airtime than El Toro. Every inversion is whippy, and every little airtime hill, you were absolutely flung out of your seat. I don't know, man. This coaster is just so good. When I went to Cedar Point, I rode it 7 times, and I wanted a lot. I wanted more. Like, it's just really good, and man, it's definitely my favorite coaster ever. I mean, if you're in the US, then this is about as good as it gets for roller coasters. I mean, you're at the best park in America, on the best coaster in America, but you know, if you take a trip to Japan, then you can find a coaster, and I think you know what it is since it hasn't been on the list yet. It's Ijanika or Dynaconda if you prefer. They're basically the same ride. Now, Ijanika, like, wow. Ijanika looks absolutely insane. Like, absolutely insane. Like, everything you want in a coaster, Ijanika has. Like, you're gonna get airtime on Ijanika. You might gray out on Ijanika. You are gonna get flung out of your seat on Ijanika. Ijanika just looks like the most incredible coaster in the world. And like Lightning Rod. All I have to say for it is wow. You know, it isn't the longest, but it sure stacks up. So that was the top 100 roller coasters in the world. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you're not angry at me. Anyways, this is CT Coasters signing off.